Hydrogen bonding is critical to the biology and chemistry of life, and it's important to understand it very well. Hydrogen bonding occurs because more electronegative atoms, such as oxygen, nitrogen, and fluorine, which we won't consider much further, attract the electrons in shared electron pairs, whereas electropositive hydrogen easily give up an electron. The electrons spend more time by the more electronegative atom. We wind up with a little bit of a positive charge on the hydrogens and a little bit of a negative charge on the oxygen, nitrogen, or fluorine. We refer to these charges using this dipole symbol in the case of water, more negative at one end where the oxygen is and more positive where the hydrogens are because the shared electrons are spending a little more time around the oxygen. From now on, I'm not going to bother to draw the dipole symbol. I'll just put little positive charges, very small ones, next to the hydrogens and very small negative charge next to the oxygen. And of course, the negative charge on the oxygen is about twice the charges on the hydrogens, but I'll just put a little single negative there. Hydrogen bonding then occurs where you have a hydrogen bound to an oxygen or a nitrogen, and nearby is something that is a little bit more negative. In this case, a carbon, double bond oxygen. The oxygen's more electronegative. I'll just show the hydrogen bonding with these little purple dots. Here, a carbon bound to a nitrogen and two hydrogens, an amino group, NH2. The nitrogen is a little more electronegative. This hydrogen's a little positive, and a hydrogen bond. That has great consequences for the behavior of water. Water molecules attract each other with hydrogen bonds between the hydrogens and nearby oxygens. Water is forming this mesh of hydrogen-bonded molecules. Water also affects nonpolar molecules because it's not attracted to them. If we had a nonpolar molecule here with water molecules on either side, the attraction between the water molecules tends to push nonpolar molecules aside. Water molecules are forming hydrogen bonds with each other. The nonpolar molecules get pushed aside by water molecules forming hydrogen bonds with each other. One of the consequences is what's called the hydrophobic effect, in which water molecules pushing or pulling to get near each other push nonpolar molecules out of the way, which tends to make the nonpolar molecules aggregate. How strong is the force of hydrogen bonding? Covalent bonds and ionic bonds are stronger. Ionic bonds are easily disrupted by hydrogen bonds of water. So in cells and in biological systems, ionic bonds are often disrupted if water can get near them. But hydrogen bonding is less strong than covalent bond or than ionic bonds. The hydrophobic effect is a consequence of hydrogen bonding of water molecules with each other, tending to push hydrophobic molecules together. Even weaker is van der Waals forces, the subject of a different video. Hydrogen bonding is tremendously important in the structure of proteins and many other biological molecules. These dots are amino acids. Anywhere they have functional groups that are capable of hydrogen bonding, in this case, this hydrogen bound to this oxygen is a little positive, this amino group, the nitrogen's a little bit negative, and the nitrogen will be attracted to the oxygen. Also, these hydrogens will be attracted to an oxygen. Here, a double bond oxygen, a little bit negative, and oxygen bound to hydrogen and another hydrogen bond. A major cause of the structure of proteins is the hydrogen bonds that form to hold different parts of a protein closer to each other.